You're not sure? On tomorrow. That's why we got to do it today.
No.
Who's gonna be on?
No.
Kylie, we won't be here tomorrow.
All right. This is just some other angle relationships. We've learned so far that if you've got a central angle, the arc that it intersects is exactly the same. Then we had inscribed angles. If it's an inscribed angle, the arc is double. Or if you go backwards, the angle is half. And we also had, if you've got a quadrilateral in here, no matter how you draw it, this angle and this angle is going to add up to 180. So if you knew this was 80, this would have to be 100. And these two also are supplementary. If this was 110, well, that's not 110. This one would be the 110. This would be 70. Okay? So for these, if you've got a tangent and a chord, so remember a tangent is if it intersects at one single point. Now, this is one you can figure out. If you forget this rule, it's easy to figure out. If I drew the chord as a diameter, right? Because a chord can be a diameter. What's the angle that's formed?
180. 90.
Yep. A tangent and a radius are always perpendicular. So this angle formed is 90. What is the arc that it intersects? 180. So this theorem is now if you've got a tangent and a chord, if you know what the arc is, the angle is half. It's just like an inscribed angle. Okay? Now, sometimes they try to trick you where they give you a picture like this, but then they ask, what's this? So what they do is they would write in here that this is 50 degrees, but they don't ask for this arc, they ask for this one. So you'd have to put that this is 100, so this would, the actual answer would be 260 degrees. Okay? We'll go through some of those when we do them.
Or you could just do that line A has to be 180 and then just double.
Yep. This is 130 and then you double it. Okay, so here's one where they want angle KLM. So you got to write an equation. Right now, this angle is not equal to the arc that it goes through, right? So what you got to do to make them so they are equal is you either got to change this or this. You can do either one. What would I do to make this equal to that? Double it.
It'll be 8x.
Yep. So if you double this, then it's equal to the arc.
Oh, okay.
Or what you can do, and this only works if these are even numbers, you could cut that in half. 4x equals 6x minus 50. Cut this in half. Okay? Like I said, if these were odd numbers, then you'd get a decimal, then it's not real easy to do that. Whichever one you do, you're going to get the same answer. I got to move this over. So you get negative 4x equals negative 100. So x is 25. Here you get the same thing. Subtract 6x, you get negative 2x equals negative 50. So you get negative 25. Or positive 25. But now remember, they want what the actual angle is.
So then 25.
So it's 100.
But I thought once the radius did a whatever diameter, is that 90?
This isn't a diameter though,
Oh.
because the center would be right about there. Okay, so you have the option when you're solving this to make them equal. You either double this, set it equal to that, or cut this in half, and then it would equal that. Since these are both even, I'm just going to cut it in half. So that'd be 4x plus 16 equals 5x minus 10. So if I move the 4x over, move the 10 over there, it's minus, so you add. X is 26, but they actually want angle QRS, so you gotta put 26 in for X.
Julie, are you okay?
And you get 120. Okay?
I'm just kidding.
Now, there's two other theorems. This has to do if you've got chords again and secants and tangents. If you ever have two chords that intersect obviously inside, what do you know about, well, if this was angle 1 right there,
1 and 1 are congruent.
they're equal to each other. So, the easiest thing to do to show you is just to show you an example. If they're looking for angle 1 right here, this isn't a central angle, so it's not the same as this arc, and it's not an inscribed angle, so it's not half of this arc. So the way you figure these out is if this is, say, 70 degrees and this is 80 degrees. To figure out an angle that's inside, you add these together and divide by 2. You find the average of them. So it's 75 degrees. Okay? Now again, sometimes,
If it's in the middle, then they're congruent, right?
yes. Sometimes they put here, they're asking for that angle, which means you just find what this one is, and then you know they got to form a 180. So this would equal 105 degrees. So, if the angle's inside, it's the average of the two arcs. It would be arc AB plus DC divided by 2. If it's two secants and the angle's outside, it's the same concept, except you subtract. It would be arc BC minus AC divided by 2. Okay? So that's just something you got to memorize. If it's inside, you add them, divide by 2. Outside, you subtract them, divide by 2. Now, common sense kind of comes into play with this. Like for here, they're looking for X. It's inside, so you would add them up and divide by 2. 150 plus 136 divided by 2. Now remember, when you do this on a calculator, you got to press equals. If you just go this plus that divided by 2, it's only going to divide these two. So make sure you press equals. And you get 143. Okay? Now, if you did the wrong thing, if you happen to subtract them, you would get 7. Common sense tells you that's not going to be 7 degrees, right? Okay. So then, when you do one like this, right here, to find an outside, it's 68 minus 24 divided by 2 to find the outside angle. And you get 22. If you would have accidentally did the wrong thing and added them, 68 plus 24 divided by 2, you'd get 46. Which I guess it's not as easy to tell that that's smaller than 46, but you can kind of a little bit. Now this one is backwards. Remember, if it's outside, you got to take this arc, which is X, minus this arc, divided by 2, and it's going to equal what? 58. So when you write the equation down, you just have to solve it now. So what do you do first?
Times 2.
Yep. So x minus 64 equals 116, and then you just add 64,
Add 64.
and you get 180. So from here to here, it's 180. Okay, so if it's inside, it's the arc it intersects plus the arc divided by 2. And you get x is 73. Now here's one like I told you about. If you take this arc plus this arc, divide by 2, you get 96, but that's not the one they're looking for. What we just found is this angle right here. These two angles are 96, so what do you got to do to figure out x?
180 minus 96.
Right. These are supplementary, so just take 100 minus 96,
100.
and that would be 84. 180 minus 96, sorry. Okay, now this one, they don't give you all the information. Here's where they intersect right here. So it's this arc, which we don't know, minus this arc, which is 110, divided by 2 will give us x. We don't have all the information written down, but can you figure it out?
360
Right.
minus 110.
So the whole thing is 360, so that means this has to be 250.
Yep.
360 minus 110. So again, you got to remember when it's inside, you add them. When it's outside, you subtract. 250 minus 110 divided by 2.
So that would be
70.
1. Yep.
So x is 70. Okay. Here, it's part of the arc that they're looking for. So all you do is use the formula. It's the arc, 210, minus the other arc that the line, that the angle intersects, which is x, divided by 2 equals the exterior angle, which is 72. So when you solve this, you take it times 2. Subtract 210. So you have negative 66.
And then it's just
So you just change the sign, the x is 66. Okay, so the 3 things today on the assignment is okay, if you've got a tangent and a chord, the angle is half of the arc that it goes through. Or you can think of it this way, the arc is double the angle. And then if you got 2 chords that intersect, it's the arc it intersects plus the arc on the other side divided by 2 to find the angle. If it's outside, it doesn't matter if it's like this, or if it's a tangent and a secant, or if it's 2 tangents. Okay? You take the arc minus the arc divided by 2. So this one would be AC minus BD divided by 2 to give you the angle. This one would be arc AB minus arc BC divided by 2. And this would be, they'd have to have another letter here, but arc ACB minus BA divided by 2 equals the angle. Okay?